What if I told you there's a company printing money in a sterile clean room? Welcome to HDIN Research. Today we are stripping the skin off Success Biotech, a firm we call the invisible monopoly. While the rest of the MedTech sector is bruising from price wars, these guys are sitting on margins that would make a Silicon Valley software CEO blush. They don't just sell medical devices, they own the critical seconds between a successful surgery and a clinical disaster. It's high stakes, high margin, and highly invisible. Let's dive into the logic of why being small in revenue but massive in dominance is the ultimate flex in 2026. Most investors see a 12.5% revenue drop and reach for the panic button. At HDIN, we reach for the champagne. This isn't a business in decay, it's a business in surgical debridement. By hacking away low-quality direct sales and pivoting to high-efficiency distributors, Success Biotech saw profits climb while the top line dipped. It's the efficiency paradox. They're essentially driving a lighter, faster car with a smaller fuel tank. In 2024, they proved that in a post-VBP world, less is more if you know exactly where to cut the fat without hitting the muscle. Let's talk about moats. A 91% market share isn't just leading, it's owning the air the competition breathes. Success Biotech has effectively evicted global giants like Baxter and Medtronic from the Chinese dural sealant market. With an 82% gross margin and an OCF that perfectly tracks net profit, this isn't accounting magic, it's industrial gravity. They are currently transitioning from simple mechanical plugs to active tissue engineering. Think of it as moving from selling Band-Aids to selling self-healing skin. Look at that 82.3% gross margin. In the world of physical goods, that number is an absolute unicorn. To put it in perspective, for every dollar they spend making a device, they're basically pocketing 80 cents of pure strategic leverage. Their sales expense ratio is a lean 12.6%, half the industry average. Most medical device companies are sales-driven, meaning they have to shout to be heard. Success Biotech is product-pulled, they whisper, and the hospitals come running. It's the difference between being a telemarketer and being an oracle. This chart shows the soul of the company. That 2024 dip in the light blue area, that was the strategic shedding of the skin. Notice how the dark navy line, the net profit, didn't follow the revenue down the drain? That's the divergence of a company that stopped chasing vanity metrics and started chasing cash. By 2025, the recovery is complete, but the business is now structurally more profitable. They didn't just survive the pivot, they rebuilt the engine while the plane was flying. Part 2, the anatomy. You can't understand the money if you don't understand the materials. Success Biotech isn't a one-trick pony, it's a stable of thoroughbreds built on a proprietary PEG functionalization platform. If that sounds like Greek to you, just remember this. They control the chemistry that controls the bleeding. From dural sealants to vascular glues, their portfolio is a wall of defense. Take Cynino. It's the first domestic dural sealant in China. Before this, surgeons were praying that sutures would hold. Now, they use a gel that sets in under 3 seconds. That 3-second window is the difference between a clean recovery and a brain fluid leak. Controlling 5 core material platforms means they aren't just buying ingredients. They own the cookbook. It's vertical integration for the molecular age. 91% market share. In any other industry, that would trigger an antitrust investigation. Here, it's just a testament to a moat built of clinical trials and NMPA certificates. Entering this market requires a 10-year R&D cycle. By the time a competitor gets their product approved, Success Biotech has already moved the goalposts. They aren't just playing the game. They are the stadium, the referee, and the only team on the field. Part 3, the strategy. How do you stay on top when the government is trying to cut your prices? We use the Porter's 5 Forces framework to show that even in the face of VBP, Success Biotech is playing 4D chess while others are playing checkers. Let's look at the battlefield. Threat of new entrants? Low. Unless you have a decade and a mountain of cash to waste. Supplier power? Low. They localized their raw materials and cut costs by 54%. The only real monster in the room is buyer power, specifically the government's volume-based procurement. But here's the kicker. Success Biotech's margins are so high, they can absorb price cuts that would literally bankrupt their competitors. They are the only ones in the room who can afford to lose a limb and keep running. VBP isn't a death sentence, it's a great filter. When the government mandates a 33% price drop, the weak players vanish. Success Biotech traded that price for a 15% volume gain. They used their high gross margin as a ballistic vest. While competitors are bleeding out, success is just buying more market share. It's a consolidation play disguised as a policy hurdle. Part 4. The engine. This is where the MBB logic gets really interesting. How does a company with only 49 salespeople cover 2,300 hospitals? The answer is a structural masterstroke that sounds like a conflict of interest but works like a Swiss watch. In 2023, direct sales were the norm. By 2025, 91% of their business went through distributors. This slashed their sales expenses from a bloated 30% to a razor-thin 12.6%. They basically fired the middleman and hired partners who happened to be experts. This is the structural OpEx advantage. They let the distributors carry the weight of the boots-on-the-ground marketing while they focus on the high-margin R&D. Here is the secret sauce. 54.7% of their revenue comes from distributors owned by ex-employees. Is it nepotism? No, it's a community of interest. These aren't just random salesmen. They are technical veterans who know the product better than anyone. It's a decentralized sales force that Success Biotech doesn't have to pay a salary to. It's the ultimate lean startup move executed by a market leader. Revenue per sales employee, $0.96 million. That's nearly $1 million generated by every single person in their sales department. Compare that to their peers who are dragging around massive, expensive direct sales teams. Success Biotech is the elite sniper of the industry. One shot, one kill, minimal noise. Their business is now so highly leveraged that every extra dollar of revenue is almost pure profit. Part 5. The horizon. If you think they're done with sealants, you're looking at the wrong map. We're moving from the mechanical era to the drug delivery era. Using the McKinsey 3 Horizons model, we see a clear roadmap. Horizon 1 is defending that 91% moat. Horizon 2, launching in 2026, moves into tissue repair. Think amniotic membranes for orthopedic surgery. But Horizon 3, that's the moonshot. Oncology isolation gels that can deliver drugs directly to a tumor. They're moving from sealing holes to fighting cancer. That's a valuation re-rating waiting to happen. The clock is ticking. 2025 is the IPO and channel cleanup. 2026 is the launch of the regeneration portfolio. By 2028, we expect the oncology gels to hit the market. This isn't a company guessing about the future. They've already built the schedule. What do you do with $88 million? You don't buy a corporate jet. Success Biotech is pouring nearly 50% into R&D and 30% into capacity upgrades. They are tripling their production volume to prepare for global expansion. This is a disciplined capital allocation strategy designed to turn a domestic champion into a global platform. Our conclusion? Success Biotech is no longer just a, quote, medical device company. It's a platform for advanced biomaterials. They've mastered the invisible monopoly at home, and now they have the cash and the tech to export that model. But wait, before you go all in, remember the risks. VBP could get deeper, and R&D for Class 3 devices is notoriously fickle. Also, that ex-employee network, it's a double-edged sword. If those relationships sour, the engine stalls. This is a high-reward play, but it requires a surgeon's precision to navigate the next 3 years. That's the HDIN Research take on Success Biotech. If you want the full data set or our proprietary valuation model, send an email to sales@hdinresearch.com or visit our site. Don't forget to comment below. Do you think the 82% margin is sustainable? Subscribe to @HDIN230 for more deep sector deconstructions. I'm the Chief Analyst, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.